Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the Noon News from Montana's news leader.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us on your MTN Statewide News this Monday. I'm Jeanelle Slade. Well, Montana's single-day record for coronavirus cases is shattered today. Health officials are now reporting positive results in 56 new tests. Health authorities say just over 6,400 people were swabbed in this latest round of testing. Yellowstone County has the highest number of new cases today at 14. Gallatin follows right behind with 13. The previous single-day record was just 5 days ago when results came back positive for 37 Montanans. Before that, 35 new cases were reported on March 26th. Active cases in our state are now at 293. Residents on the Blackfeet Reservation in north central Montana will be required to stay home for 14 days. Leaders announced the quarantine will be effective immediately as they try to address new coronavirus cases on tribal lands. Last week, the tribe also shut down the east entrance to all travelers into and out of Glacier National Park. Well, a trend is emerging as businesses reopen across the state and country. People are buying things, but the factories that make those supplies can't keep up. MTN's Shannon Newth met with 3 Montana companies about the challenges they're facing to meet consumer demand.
From hot tubs,
You have your backyard vacation, your staycation.
to furniture,
A lot of recliners, I think, since a lot of people are staying home.
and appliances.
The business has been very good. We're up about 20–30%.
The problem?
If you can sell stuff, you're just going to get stuff.
That continues to be the situation many Montana businesses are dealing with right now. Sales are picking back up, demand is high, but supply is lagging behind.
It's very difficult. We're getting about 10% of what we order today. That's how bad it is.
They're only at about a third capacity. And so the production end of it is way down.
Lower capacity at the factories means less available inventory.
I usually carry about $3 million worth of inventory. I have about $1 million now.
It also means people are having to practice patience and wait longer for their orders.
A special order might take you 16 weeks instead of 8 weeks.
Usually we get stuff within about 10 days. It's taken up to 2 months.
Where it was 4 weeks, it may take 8 to 18 weeks to get a hot tub.
Despite the delays, they're cautiously optimistic about the months ahead.
I'm hoping that in another 2 or 3 months, by probably the fourth quarter, that things will change and we'll get a lot more production.
Interesting to see what happens with everything in the fall.
In Great Falls, Shannon Newth, MTN News.
Thanks, Shannon. And it's time now this Monday to check in on the rainy weather scene. Good afternoon, Ed.
Jeanelle, we got a lot of rain to talk about.
Yes, we do.
But that's not the only thing. Let's take a look because it's areas of northwest and north central Montana that has some localized flooding potential. We're continuing to see some heavy rain and more on the way over the course of the next few days. So a lot of the rivers and streams will continue to swell, plus some localized flooding on the Dearborn River right around Craig. Meanwhile, eastern Montana into the western Dakotas, varying considerations for strong to severe storms, especially in those yellow shaded areas in the eastern edge of Montana into the Dakotas. Some storms could contain large hail and damaging winds this afternoon, and so hot into the central plains there's a heat advisory. Some of the heat indexes could be up to over 100 degrees today. Take a closer look at the forecast coming up.
All right, thanks so much, Ed. In national news this afternoon, the Supreme Court takes action viewed as a win for supporters of abortion rights. Chief Justice John Roberts sided with the liberals on the court to block a controversial Louisiana abortion law. That law would have required any doctor who performed the procedure to have admitting rights at a nearby hospital. Now, pro-choice supporters argued the law was not medically necessary and amounted to a veiled attempt to restrict abortion. 4 years ago, the court struck down a similar law in Texas. Pro-life groups had hoped the more conservative makeup of the court would have made a major difference this time around. In southeastern Montana, authorities are investigating a man was killed at a gas station in Crow Agency. So far, very few details have been released. 2 people were in an altercation leading up to the death. It happened around 5 o'clock yesterday afternoon at the TP gas station and convenience store. Crow police are investigating alongside the FBI and BIA. Well, the homicide investigation is in the first major incident for the brand new Crow Police Department, which just began operations Saturday. The department's 18 officers are based in Gary Owen. Crow Tribal Chairman A.J. Not Afraid says because the BIA only has 5 officers, the addition of the Crow Police will help improve investigations.
The motivation that we've seen was that during the time of the Crow tribe leading the nation in missing and murdered Indigenous peoples and women, we need to start looking at our internal systems as well as the transit and/or traffic coming through. As leaders, we need to stand up and see if we could protect our elders as well as our youth, because the rumor mill down on the reservation is even the children are selling meth, and that's not something good to hear. So we said we got to do something.
Now, Not Afraid says a partnership with the Bureau of Indian Affairs will lead to more opportunities for training at the U.S. Indian Police Academy in New Mexico. Well, the Gallatin County Search and Rescue Team says a new pattern is emerging in the team's data. It is performing more rescues and fewer searches. Plus, those rescues are more technical in nature in harder to reach places. SAR Commander Jeremy Kopp says those are places that are higher in elevation and in more difficult terrain. The most rescues came in January and July of 2019. Kopp praises the SAR volunteers. He says they leave jobs and family anytime a call comes in to offer life-saving assistance. Well, we have more ahead on your noon news today. We meet a Montana musician using his craft to educate his community about COVID-19. The time now is 12:06, but first, meteorologist Ed McIntosh is in next with your statewide weather forecast. Don't go away.